Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video. Now, today I want to take a look at this post made by RollerZZ over on the Dokkan subreddit. Now, this is sort of, I don't know, an analysis post on the different transformations of some of the units a lot of us consider to be in the discussion for best TUR in the game. We have the physical Dragon Ball Super Broly, we have the AGL Blue Gogeta, the Tech Spirit Bomb Sword Trunks, as well as AGL Merge Zamasu. I would say there's two more candidates to being the best TUR in the game. This post and this video isn't specifically about which unit is the best TUR in the game, but I would add that people are still mad at me, but Kale and Khalifa, TUR Kale and Khalifa are definitely in the discussion. If you put a gun to my head, I probably would say they are the best TUR in the game. And then also, I think in Janemba, I think those six are all, at the very least, worthy candidates for best TUR in the game. I don't know that I would add any other units to that. I mean, another one that comes to mind would be maybe Dokkan Fest Kid Goku, but I don't know that he's quite as good as the units we're looking at here, right? So again, this is kind of just like a breakdown, links and stuff, like what their attack stats are. Now, I saw some people commenting that maybe these numbers aren't completely accurate. I mean, that's not really the biggest deal. I've never taken much stock into these types of numbers before anyway. I like to see more of what they're actually able to do in game, but I get what all this is about. But here's the thing. Even if the numbers are completely accurate, they are at the very least in the ballpark of what these units are capable of doing. So I figured this would be, sort of a worthy video to make. Now, what this specifically is, this is just looking at the transform versions of these four characters, right? So, again, Broly, Gogeta, Trunks, and Zamasu. It's not taking into account anything before their final transformation, and it's also not really taking into account things like their defensive potential, right? This is strictly about the amount of damage that these units are able to put forth. So I figure we might as well go ahead and take a look at this, take a look at some of these units. Since Broly is the first one here, let's go ahead and take a look at him, right? So I believe Broly is... Where's Broly? Here's Broly, okay. Alright, so, Broly. The full power Super Saiyan Broly used to be Legendary Super Saiyan Broly in DBZ, but they've changed it. So, his best team is movie bosses. Yeah, that would make sense, with Turles and stuff like that. Links considered active are Super Saiyan, Fierce Battle, as well as, what is that, Saiyan Warrior Race? Yeah, Saiyan Warrior Race, okay. Yeah, because I would presume, I don't know, if you have him linked up with, the AGL Broly, right, or maybe even, Turles. Turles, of course, is a fantastic support type unit, right? And then, average type modifier, extra additional proc chance, that would come in. So, you guys remember I did a video where the kind of discovery was made that not only does the additional attack have a chance to proc on every single attack a unit does, right? So if we take a look at Broly, Broly has his one attack, and then he has a guaranteed additional, which then has a high chance to be a super attack, right? So no matter what, Broly is going to have two chances for his additional attack from the potential system to activate. One on his normal attack, and then there's a chance as well on his additional. So because of that extra chance that he has to do that, it's very common that you will see Broly get 3 attacks, or think of a Vegito unit, because counters do count like that as well. So it's very, very often that you will see a Vegito unit get an additional attack, especially if they do a lot of counters before they even take their turn, right? So, because of that, that leads into extra damage that Broly is capable of doing. The number we have here is 5,572,000. So, basically, a very good number, right? This Broly is absolutely good. The problem with Broly is not even in his transformation, right? It's just, as his normal TUR, he does supreme damage. It is an AoE, though, so it's kind of I would prefer. I like Broly the way he is. I wouldn't change him. It's just one of those things that does cause him to output less damage than he could. But me personally, again, I do prefer that AoE factor he has. Very, very good for things like Super Battle Road. Well, not Extreme Z Awakening, but World Tournament is what I wanted to say. Those modes, this Broly is the king of, right? LR Broly, still like is a lot better for a world tournament in terms of like his super attacks. He's much more likely to clear the field than this guy is right here. But this guy's leader skill is very, very good for the world tournament. So I definitely am a fan of this Dragon Ball Super Broly. But then, once he transforms, I mean, it's just ridiculous at that point. 188% attack, the guaranteed additional, immense damage. He's got it all, even good links. Just a very, very strong unit. If we move over to Blue Gogeta here. So we got him listed on the Realm of Gods team. That does make sense. Realm of Gods just got the new update from the Zamasu. Actually, here, let me move Broly to the end, and then let's get the Zamasu and Gogeta up here. So Zamasu, with this new leader skill, 170% to Realm of Gods. That, gives Gogeta some extra damage. Super Saiyan Warrior Gods, what is this, Saiyan Warrior Race again, and Fierce Battle. Yeah, Warrior Gods, because here's the thing. You run this guy on a rotation with Tech Vegito Blue, and there's, like, they're going to cut through everything. Like, that is definitely one of the most damaging rotations in the game, and it's just flat out one of the best rotations in the game. I have a few problems with Tech Vegito Blue, but putting Blue Gogeta next to him takes away, like, the problem of Vegito Blue's links. Like, the two of them work incredibly well together. And then, of course, Gogeta's average attack is 4,988,000. Now, here's the thing, right? I do trust these numbers, but it certainly does feel to me like Blue Gogeta outputs more damage than even a transformed Broly. I don't know. I think with me, it's just, if we look at a unit like, Tech Vegito Blue, or Physical Vegito Blue, or Broly, Cooler, Omega, any of these units that could do additionals like that, I feel like I tend to have bad luck. Maybe I don't even. It's just I remember the bad luck times way more than I remember the times where I got, like, 4 super attacks with Tech Vegito Blue, right? I don't remember those, but I always remember the time I got 1 super attack and, like, only 1 normal attack. Like, I remember those all the time. So, it's entirely possible that this is just, on me, but I do feel like Gogeta Blue outputs more damage as Super Saiyan Blue. I mean, here's the thing. This right here, like, this is like LR level, this unit right here. We're not counting in, of course, his Super Saiyan form. We're just talking about him at blue. Guaranteed crit and a 50% chance to dodge enemy attacks. And then he also has 130% attack and defense. Like, this guy right here, like, if we're just talking about the transform version of all these characters, without a shadow of a doubt, I'm taking Blue Gogeta. That's not even in question. Like, this transform version of Blue Gogeta, it shits on these 3. I don't really care so much that Broly will outdamage him if he does, which, with the multiple super attacks is very likely. But, like, you guaranteed crit and then a 50% chance to dodge. Like, Blue Gogeta, you just don't get better than this right here. This is the pinnacle. This is the peak. This is peak performance right here. Guaranteed crit. There's not you don't see that very often. So you all know how much of a fan I am. I've actually seen some pushback on that recently. People are saying that they think Gogeta Blue is overrated. I don't see what you could how, like, I don't know. I don't really get that as much, but sure. I mean, people are gonna think different things about units, right? Like, we all prefer certain things, right? That's like with me. I know a lot of people really love Tech Vegito Blue, but I'm kind of lukewarm on them. It's probably similar to that. All right, so moving on next, we have the Tech Trunks right here. Spirit Bomb Sword Trunks. Now, I will fully admit, I'm having a little bit of trouble kind of grasping exactly how good both the Trunks and Zamasu are, just because they're the first units like this, where, they transform immediately, and then after that, they have a second transformation that mostly just has pros, but there is a slight con for both of them, right? Like, Merge Zamasu more so. I feel like with Trunks, like, especially being super effective against all types, like in this Spirit, like, Sword of Hope version, that's just like, that's just such a strong passive effective against all types. Like, that, again, that's why Gogeta is so good. He's got guaranteed crit. It's, basically the same thing. Like, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. So this Trunks is deemed to be on the future team. Yeah, that would make sense, because you could have any super type ally on there. He's considered to have Super Saiyan and Fierce Battle on there. Average orbs of 7.5. Now, I'm going to call shenanigans on this. I saw another analysis on this Trunks by, was it Prism Azure? I believe it was. If not, I apologize. Or if I said his name wrong, I apologize. But I don't know. That's very generous to me, 7.5. Because here's the thing with Trunks, right? Keep in mind, again, for this video, we're not looking at the pre-transformations. We're only looking at the strongest transformation for these units. So Trunks gets 30% attack and 10% defense per key sphere obtained, which is crazy, by the way. That's a lot. That's a huge number. Then he's attacks effective against all types. Again, that's one of like the most broken abilities you can have in this game. Very, very strong. And then he randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to tech key spheres once only. Here's the problem with, I think, giving Trunks an average of 7.5 orbs, is that, I mean, as far as I've seen, the optimal teams for, like, future do not have orb changers on them. So, you're being very generous to give him 7.5 orbs, especially when Trunks is only going to do this once. Yeah, he does change orbs, but only one time. And here's the other thing, too. I've had this happen several times where I've used the active skill, he's turned in the Sword of Hope version, but then no orbs have changed. Because let's say, okay, I use the active skill. It determines it's going to change SCR orbs into tech orbs, but there's no SCR orbs on the field, so his passive does nothing. I've had that happen before. So you can have him turn, and he doesn't affect the field in any way. That is a possibility. So I think 7.5 orbs is very generous. I'm not, like, really discrediting the unit or even the analysis. I'm just saying I think that's a bit too much, but this guy is very good. Again, effective against all types is crazy. And then if we look at his number, 5,104,000. So a very, very good number. Trunks is going to output a lot of damage. There's no doubt about that. Very, very good unit. And then finally, we move on to the AGL Merge Zamasu. Now, as of right now, I probably would say I have Zamasu as the worst of the four. Just from what I've experienced. Again, I kind of want to, like, I wanted to do a top 10 TUR video, but I don't know. I'm not really too sure where exactly I will put Trunks and Zamasu right now. Like, I'm quite certain, again, that Blue Gogeta and Broly are better. I think I would probably say Janemba is probably better than Zamasu and Trunks as well. But I want to use them a bit more. Use them a bit more in Super Battle Road. Kind of get a better feel for them to kind of see. Because Zamasu is good, but this, again, just sticks, like, talking about what I like specifically, I don't really care, like, if a unit is just like, a billion, zillion damage. I want damage and defense. And Zamasu does not have that. Like, especially when we're talking about his final form right here, where he gets 4 ki, which is nice, a 280% attack buff, which is crazy, right? Definitely a huge number. Then he reduces damage received by 20%. He disables enemies' guard, which I've found is almost a pointless ability. And then he lowers superclass allies' attack by 10%. So a bit of a negative right there on the Realm of Gods team. Maybe you would prefer when going through events to stay in just this fused Zamasu state. But, again, for the sake of the video, we're just talking about this guy right here. And he has very good links. Merge Zamasu units do have very good links. But in this form, like, unlike the other units, who, especially Broly and Gogeta, are very good defensive units, Gogeta's crazy, because a monster defensive buff and also high chance to dodge, like, that's silly. Trunks, he's only 10% per orb is a little low, so if you're going to have trouble getting orbs, this Trunks could potentially get hit kind of hard, right? But then Zamasu is going to get cream pied by the enemy. Reducing damage by 20% is not good enough. Like, realistically, it's like, once you get to, like, reducing damage by, like, 50%, that's where it, as an ability, starts to get very, very good. Like, it's still better than no damage reduction, but, you guys get what I'm saying here. This Zamasu is prone to taking big-time hits. And again, because I don't really care, like, Dokkan events you could beat with any team. Any units on any team could beat any Dokkan event with no items. It's just how it is these days. So I'm not really looking for how units perform in Dokkan events. I care about Super Battle Road. I care how they do in Dokkan Battlefield. That's what I got. I want to start doing videos where I take the newest batch of units in the Dokkan Battlefield. I probably will do this with the Trunks, the Zamasu, Mai, as well as Gowasu and Zamasu. Because, some of these units, they, like, okay, so, like, Zamasu, right? Where, I'm kind of, like, clowning on him a bit in his defensive ability. But, like, if we're talking about Dokkan Battlefield, Zamasu's leader skill is, like, one of the 5 best that you could bring in there at all. Like, it's a massive buff for Extreme AGL, right? Now having this, because you look at AGL Rose is going to be on Extreme AGL. You're probably going to be using him in Dokkan Battlefield. So they're going to get a huge buff from this. And then he's giving 120% to Extreme Class. Just absolutely monstrous. Like, Super 17, you just pretty much don't even need to use anymore on Extreme Class, because you have just better units like LR Super Baby 2, the Dragon Ball Super Broly is a solid option you could use. Like, Super 17, pretty much gone at this point. Like, I don't really use him often in Dokkan Battlefield, but, like, that's a huge, like, bonus that this Zamasu can have, right? So I'm probably going to start doing videos on Dokkan Battlefield with some of these units. But, like, when we're talking about Super Battle Order EZA, this Zamasu does get messed up pretty bad, man. So, he's calced to be on the Realm of Gods team. Again, just to show how good that Realm of Gods team, 2 of these 4 units are on that team, and both of these units are, like, part of the optimal team as well. So, very, very big there. Links considered active, Nightmare and Fierce Battle are 100%, Godly Power only at 33%. I guess that would be linking up with himself, like an earlier version of himself, because these like transforming units like this can do that. And the optimal team for Realm of Gods is Tech Vegito Blue and Blue Gogeta as a rotation, then SCR Rose and AGL Merge Zamasu as a rotation. Then your 3 floaters are Zamasu, Kid Buu, and Turles. So he would have to be linking up with himself to get Godly Power. And then if we move down to his number, 4,900,000. So as we could see, Zamasu has the lowest average attack on this list. Again, these all are calced at Rainbow, by the way. Usually when we're looking at calcs on the subreddit and stuff like that, it's mostly at the free dupe level, but this is Rainbow level. And as you guys can see, this is the reason I kind of think Zamasu is the worst of the 4. Even though he's supposed to be like an all-or-nothing attack unit, he has the lowest average attack of all 4 units here. Like, he's just barely under Blue Gogeta, but Blue Gogeta has guaranteed crits, a 130% defensive buff, and a 50% chance to dodge. Whereas Zamasu is lowering your allies, like Superclass allies' attack by 10%. Now, on using the optimal Realm of Gods team, you're not going to encounter that, especially if you leave the floating Zamasu as just a fusion Zamasu right there. That would probably be better for links for this guy, and you wouldn't be lowering the attack of Tech Vegito Blue and AGL Blue Gogeta, but you guys kind of get what I'm saying. Like, he's supposed to be an all-attack unit, but he doesn't hit as hard as the other 4, so, other 3, but you guys let me know what you think of all of these units. I mean, here's the thing. I've been kind of negative on Zamasu in this video, but, I mean, he's, like, a top 5 TUR, right? Well, he's right. He's in the discussion. He's definitely in the discussion. I don't know. Again, I'm having a little bit of trouble rating these 2 because of the fact that, like, going through events, like, you have all these different forms that they're constantly taking. It's not like, I don't know, some of these other transformation units, either you never see their transformation or it's very rare. Like, with these guys, literally every turn, they do, like, different stuff. So, it's a little hard to completely compare how good they are to other units. The one thing I could say for sure with the Trunks and Zamasu is that their leader skills make them worth it alone. They have amazing, amazing, amazing teams. So let me know what you guys think of all of these 4 units. Which one do you like the best? Remember that really this graphic right here is just depicting their damage more so than anything. But a lot of what I was looking at was also just their defensive potential, just the overall card in their transformed state, right? Like, of the 4, I would say definitely my favorite is still Blue Gogeta. Just guaranteed crits and 50% chance to dodge, like, it's just silly. But then, once we start factoring in, like, the pre-transformed versions of the characters, I still say I would like Gogeta's probably the best, though. I mean, 100% attack and defense still, effective against all types, and then a 30 or 25% chance to dodge. What does Gogeta have? It doesn't say. I would presume it's a 30% chance to dodge, but it could be a 25% chance. It's, sometimes with medium and rare, they kind of go back and forth between 25 and 30%. But, these units are all just incredibly good. Again, let me know what you guys think. Big shout outs to Roller ZZ and the Dokkan subreddit for the posts and stuff. Last time, let me know what y'all think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.